This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Hey there, Top Shop listeners. We have a fantastic guest today, Mary Steele. Mary's been with the ASA for decades and is now Executive Director of the Automotive Management Institute, where she received her Accredited Master Automotive Manager in 2017. Mary's deep roots in the automotive service and repair industry are vast, and her vast association experience make her an awesome Top Shop Podcast guest, and we're honored to have her. An industry veteran at only 18, Mary first began working as a bookkeeper for an independent family-owned shop in her native home state of Pennsylvania, and later moved into a service manager role. After taking some time off to raise 4 kids and serve in a church, she joined her husband Tom in purchasing a shop in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Unlike many people in the automotive associations industry, Mary knows the automotive repair industry from the ground up. Last but not least, Mary Steele is a recipient of the esteemed Golden Wrench Award for her dedication and service to the automotive repair industry. Without further ado, enjoy the podcast.
Follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes.
I really appreciate you taking your valuable time. I feel torn between two things. I have a lot of questions that I wanted to ask you about webinar blast, getting a webinar for through AMI in January, how to maximize lead flow in 2024. So it's a pretty hot topic with especially auto repair. I haven't done that much research into auto body, so I'm looking forward to that, so.
Okay.
So anyway, give me a quick background. So you've been in the auto industry how long now?
I have been in the automotive industry since 1984, so just a few years now.
39 years. Wow. Okay. And you've been with the ASA how long?
Since I started as working in an automotive shop, we were part of ASA as members back then. As I got older, I grew into different roles with ASA, and then AMI came around, and as a shop owner, I partook in those, which kind of why I said kind of takes me a new, different perspective. It gives me that different look because I look at it from a shop owner's point of view. Being a former shop owner, our shop was in Pennsylvania. I also was with the administrative section of ASA Pennsylvania, just having done so much volunteer work for ASA, as a shop owner. Then I went into the administrative part of it. Then we sold our shop and we moved to Florida, which is where I am now. And then I took a role with ASA Florida. And then about a year ago, I'm going to say it's going on 2 years now, ASA National did away with the different affiliates. Formerly we had about 13 or 14 separate affiliates. And that was state by state. You had Florida, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, all of those different affiliates. And we kind of kept home base. Everything is with national now.
So, Mary, I really appreciate your valuable time today to meet with us for the Top Shop Podcast. So you're definitely a really honored guest to have on because you have nearly 40 years experience, 39 years experience in the automotive industry. As you were just saying, you owned a shop, so you're a lot of other associations. They're people that went to college and they got a job at the association, but you're a lot different. You actually owned and worked in a shop. You grew up in a shop. You did a lot of work in Pennsylvania. I'm from Ohio, so you and I are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you and I speak correctly. We're from the Midwest.
Yeah. Right.
So. But you did a lot of volunteer work for ASA, Auto Service Association and Automotive Service Association in Pennsylvania, and ended up taking roles in the ASA. And that brings us to today, where you are now the Executive Director of the Automotive Management Institute.
That's correct. So once I came down to Florida and I worked with them, and then we switched over to the non-affiliate model, there was an opportunity on the AMI side, the automotive management side, for me to take that role. And I jumped right on that role because that's where my heart is. I have been pushing and pulling for our industry to be educated and put that out there since I started back in 1984. That's been my mantra, if you will. I believe there's a lot out there. I don't believe it's all the right stuff. The educational piece of it is imperative for us going forward as an industry. The management side in particular, because that applies to the service writers, it applies to the management, it applies to the technicians, it applies to everyone inside your teams at your shop, because one hand has to know what the other one's talking about and doing. And that's the only way a good flow happens inside of a shop, is if everybody's on the same page and trained well. Wholeheartedly believe in the return of investment on training.
Correct. Yeah. And most shop owners are the successful ones are very keen on continued training. So tell me a little bit about the courses in AMI. Give me a little bit of information about AMI, and why would the shop owner definitely want to get on the AMI online.org website and take a look at the training that's offered through the institute. And the fact that you're a .org tells us a lot also. So this is a nonprofit organization that sole purpose of existence is to help the auto repair and auto body repair shop owner stay abreast of the training that can affect their quality of their work and their overall bottom line. Am I correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
We have over 520 online courses. Yep, we have over 520, and that's online. Now, we work with trainers all across the country that do live training as well. And we offer AMI credits for those trainers. So if you were to take a training course with Mr. Smith next week and he's an AMI certified trainer, then you'll get AMI credit toward that. We've developed learning paths for your teams, whether it's collision, an estimator, a service writer, no matter which career path they want to take, that person wants to take, we have a pathway for that.
Okay.
So they're just nilly-willy going in there, picking up classes, which is an opportunity as well. But we found that if we give them that path, they're likely to follow those classes and then take the ones that they need as well. Like I said, there's collision, there's estimating. We have EV classes now.
Just real quick, a little off topic here, but I'll go ahead and jump down that road since you mentioned it. What do you feel the impact of EV is going to have on the repair industry?
How do I feel that impacts us? Well, there's
or the shop owner, yeah.
The shop owner, there's been quite a bit of concern on the shop owner's part of their incurred cost to become EV compliant.
Right.
Do they retool and change a lot of what they do to, sustain that type of customer? And this is where the divide comes. The younger ones only see the EV in the future, and some of the older ones, they feel like they'll be out of the business by the time all of that gets to their shop. And that's just simply not true. EVs have been around for 30 years.
Right.
So a lot of them are working on that. I mean, they've been around for a long time already.
Yeah. Tesla is the one that just made them really popular.
Correct. Yes.
And the public seems to think that EVs are environmentally great. Well, they're a disaster. By the time an EV lands onto the lot, it's already burned up more carbon and put it into the atmosphere than a regular combustion engine car over the life of 100,000 miles. And people don't understand that. And then they don't understand that the engine is going to go bad in about 10 years, and it's full of toxic stuff that we pulled up out of the earth at great expense and carbon emissions. So I can understand where some shop owners are hesitant, because I'm also watching hydrogen. Hydrogen is actually that's the best. That's the holy grail of combustion, is through hydrogen, which is highly combustive, and there are massive hurdles that need to be faced with that. And I think that's the concern of a lot of shop owners is, hey, I go focusing on EV, and then it goes belly up because hydrogen comes out. So it's kind of we're in a crossroads, and I can understand where a lot of shop owners that have serious concern about which way to go.
Yes. So, and that concern is very real, especially when you combine the generational impact of it. You know, you have the baby boomers and the Gen X, and that's what I am. I'm a Gen X. And then you have the millennials coming in, and they're the ones that are starting to take over on the management pieces of it. And they want to make, to leave things better than they found them, so to speak. Summarize that generation in a nutshell there.
Yep.
Not that we all don't, but they're very focused on that, leaving the world a better place. So how do we leave the world a better place for the younger generations, the millennials and the Gen, whatever's after them, the Gen Y or Gen Z, whatever it is? They're looking at these EVs as, is this really how we want to go? We don't have the infrastructure in place.
No.
As a country, we don't have the infrastructure in place for that. What am I handing my grandchildren? What are they going to do with these batteries? What are they going to do? So your hydrogen comment was absolutely perfect. And then you have people saying, why? Everybody's asking why. Well, why bother? An ICE engine is fine. There was nothing wrong with it. As far as emissions goes, EVs do emit emissions.
Yes.
They do. And more than ICE engine nowadays. So there's a whole lot of mix up about it. We still have to, as an industry, learn about it. We really do.
Right.
Now my husband is a trainer. So he refers to a lot of the training that goes on now as the pointless generation. And what he means by that is there's not regular points on a car anymore. And that's what he means by that comment. There's just so much to it, so much learning, and it's constant. I always told my own children that you are forever learning, and our industry way more than others. I seriously believe that because things change so much. There's the parts side of it, the management side of it, the service writer side of it, the technician side of it. There's just so many parts of it. We're constantly learning. And I believe as teams, as shops, they all need to learn all pieces of it, because coming into this industry, and we'll take girls in particular, girls always thought they couldn't be technicians, so what could they do in the automotive industry? Well, now we have more women leaders in this industry than we ever have.
Which is great.
Which is fabulous. We have girl technicians now. We have female technicians, and they're doing a phenomenal job.
Yep. There's an organization in Arizona that street girls that are in gangs and stuff like that, and gives them training in auto technician training.
Yes.
So it gives them a career that they can focus on, and it's all girl run. So it's a great organization. So I just recently learned about it, and I'm on your site over on my other computer. I got another computer right here, and I'm looking at a course name. I just clicked on courses real quick. 7 keys to building a successful service center. 40 hours and 80 credits. Scanning technologies, implementing the learning culture of. So you've got so many really. Michael Graham's Basics of Business Insurance. So pretty much almost anything with 520 courses. An auto repair shop owner can go and pretty much find anything that they would want to get information on.
I'll tell you about one of the newest things we're doing is we just put together a wonderful program for high school.
Oh, okay.
For the management side of it, which encompasses like a lot of those classes you just talked about. The insurance side of it, the safety side of it. There's the OSHA. They have to learn the safety, especially when it comes to the EV stuff. The safety is imperative. A little bit of service writing, a little bit of this. They have to know that. So going into high school, in those 4 years that they're going to be there, they're going to learn little bits and pieces all through so that when they come out, they'll be certified. And just like technicians, when they go out there and they, take their technical training and they get ASE certified and they can make more money, we're offering those same options to people on the management side of it as well.
Okay. Well, let me tell the shop owners, if the shop owner is taking any of your courses, do they have the ability to take the AMI logo and put that badge on their website? Our technicians are AMI trained or
Correct.
Okay. So in both of my workshops that I do, the one in January and February, January is how to maximize lead flow in 2024. And then February is how to optimize your website for maximum conversion and lead flow. Both of those workshops, I talk about the importance of trust and how to psychologically climb down in the consumer's mind right away, because the auto repair shop industry, unfortunately, has a distrust issue. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's certain ways that you can do that. One of them is, of course, taking the great reviews that a lot of shops have and getting them front and center on their websites. And then another thing is having those trust badges there, like AMRA, Automotive Maintenance Repair Association, or MAP, Motorist Assurance Program, or ASA, Automotive Service Association, AMI, Automotive Management Institute. So when the shop owner at a nominal cost joins some of these associations, or all they have to do is take your courses, any of your courses, and then that qualifies them to put that trust badge of the AMI Management Institute. Hey, our technicians are AMI Management Institute trained. So that is sends that subconscious psychological trigger to the consumer. Hey, I can trust this shop. So consumers don't know why they trust one shop, why they choose one shop over another by looking at their websites. We do.
Yeah.
Because most people are 95% of everything that we do is subconscious. So so one of the ways to that, and I mentioned this very detailed in both workshops, is to work to get any trust badges that you can that are onto the shop owner's website, front and center. So as soon as it loads, that's where it needs to be. And that really helps with the consumer subconsciously choosing one shop over another. The shop owners need to know, hey, what can I do to instill trust immediately as soon as somebody logs onto my website? Well, that's one of the most, besides having a very modern, current, and up-to-date website, which subconsciously says modern, current, up-to-date shop, technicians, equipment, subconsciously having those trust badges there are front and center. And key to those trust badges are beyond their Google and Facebook reviews and Yelp reviews, is having trust badges from organizations and associations like the AMI. So what are the benefits that we can talk about so the shop owner will listen? What are questions could I ask that would elicit benefits questions to the shop owner?
Here, this is the biggest one for me. And like I said, having owned a shop before and being in sales, we all ask, what's in it for me?
Correct.
What's in it for me? What's in it for me? So I can honestly say we answer that question. Return on investment. So do you know what the return on your investment for taking that learning pathway to your accredited masters in automotive management, for spending that $1,500 to get that designation, get that diploma, and get that degree by the finest trainers across the country, you're going to earn 256% on $1,500 investment.
That's a pretty good ROI.
That's a really good ROI. I don't know. I mean, we all have some investments, but I don't know about anybody else's, but mine aren't making that kind of money.
Mine either. So
yeah.
And which course is that one?
And I can break that down to you. That is the designation AMAM. That's the Accredited Masters in Automotive Management. So that one costs $1,500 to take. It's 180 credits, and you can take those at your leisure. It should take you, if you're doing them nice and easy, probably 6 months to do them.
Okay.
Again, it costs you $1,500. Now here's the breakdown of that really easy. So if you spend $1,500, Paul, and at the end of next year, your service writer was able to make you an extra $100 a week just by everything that they learned in those courses. Just a mere $100 a week that earns you $5,200 for the year, right?
Right.
That equals out to 256% ROI. That is the easiest way to explain it to them in real world, what's in it for me? What are they going to get out of it? That's what they're going to get out of it. And that's simply by an extra oil change a week.
Sure.
If your service writer sells an extra oil change or cabin air filter and an air filter, whatever, however you divvy it up,
Sure.
it's just gaining that extra. You cannot, that's priceless. That's
Sure.
priceless for a shop owner.
And what does that course entail altogether? I mean, in a nutshell, I know it's a comprehensive course, but in a nutshell.
It is very comprehensive. It teaches you pretty much that one, how to run a shop from A to Z.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty
Based
much
on
it.
based on
How to read your financial statements, how to manage people, how to, the safety piece, the business insurances, some of the social media stuff. It is so comprehensive, but it's not too much. And again, they can do it at their own pace. So
Sure.
it's not like they're sitting live in a classroom every day for 6 months.
Right. So on the website, there is a blue recruit. One of the big issues with shop owners, auto repair and auto body repair, is qualified technicians, finding them. And I just read an article recently about auto repair, where the situation is not looking rosy. It's going to get worse as time goes on, because less and less people are getting into the auto repair as a profession. It's really not promoted as much as it used to be in schools. I mean, when I went to high school, auto mechanics course in high school.
You're absolutely right. And I have this conversation on a practically daily basis with
Oh,
shop
geez.
owners, with my husband, with trainers, because the trainer part of it is also going to be a problem for us. You know, we always say that the current trainers out there have the gray hair. Okay, well, who's coming in behind them?
Right.
So unless people get trained themselves, then who's going to be the trainer? So we have to constantly be recruiting, and that's recruiting for service writers and technicians and trainers and anything in our industry, any of those positions. So we did a terrible job before of trying to get people into our industry. We did, and until we own that, and I say we, I collaboratively mean us as an industry,
Correct.
we did a terrible job of it. But now we know that. Now we can change that going forward. And this next generation can also change that and make that difference. There's so many people trying to put those wheels in motion and break that old stereotype before, I don't want to get greasy and I just have to go to school and do this. Guys like Mike, he's forever out there promoting skilled jobs. And it's not just hand intensive skills, there's mind skills, there's sales skills, there's soft skills. All of those skills are important in all of everything. Technicians still have to have social skills. They still have to talk to people. They still have to deal with management. They still need the safety piece. Service writers, same thing. They need to talk to employees. They need to know HR stuff. They need to know, and that is all encompassed under the management piece of it. So it's not just owners, it's managers, it's leaders, it's, shop foremen, it's all of those. And they need to start talking about it and telling other people. People will come in. I think a huge problem that happened is we had such an explosive growth in our industry back in the 80s that everyone just went out and opened a shop. Everyone just thought it was so easy and opened a shop. So we now have 3 times as many shop owners as we ever did. And to your point, now we're seeing that slow off and not so many people are doing that anymore. So they're merging, they're, regrouping, whatever. It will filter out. It will cycle out, if you will.
There's a statistic, 80% of shop owners don't make it to the first 5 years, and then another 80% don't make it to the next 5 years. That's on this podcast. We're looking to interview shop owners that are 5 and 10 years, preferably 10 years ones if we can, because these people, proof is in the pudding. So when I go to interview somebody and I say, you're a successful shop owner because you've been in business over 10 years, I'd like, to tell us your story. So those are the kind of guests that we're looking for, besides executive directors at major institutions that have a direct impact on the auto repair industry. I agree with you on the training. I think that more and more shops are going to have to just come to the realization, if they haven't already, that there is no college training. They don't go to college for auto repair. They don't go to high school for auto repair anymore. They're going to have to take the bull by the horns and say, hey, I need to find young people right out of high school, and we need to train them from the ground up. And it's institutions like the AMI that really are going to be able to help them do that, because they got a shop to run. They can't be training somebody 8 hours a day. So they got to bring in these apprentices that have an interest, a genuine interest in the automotive industry, and say, here, I need you to take these courses. I'm paying for the course. You need to take this course. I want it done by this particular time, and I want to see your grades. And so they can work with these young recruits and work with the AMI to get them trained up into their industries. And then they get that loyalty because they've invested in that particular technician. Now, a lot of them have, and I'd like to bring this up also, a lot of these shop owners are going to have the worry or concern, gee, if I take all the time and I invest in this person and then they just leave for a better job. And I have that same with my business and every other business. I hire these people, we work with them, we train them. Well, geez, what if they just leave and go to another job someplace else? And here's what I have to say on that. And I'm going to quote somebody else, and I can't remember who it was. I would rather hire them, train them, and have them leave and go somewhere else than hire them and they not get training and they stay.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly said. That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And having been there, done that, we've trained people and spent a ton of money getting them training and tools and all kinds of things. And they just up and I'm gonna go work at McDonald's or something, whatever.
Or they take another job for $1 an hour or more, so
Exactly.
that really frustrates the shop owner. But the shop owner has to remember that it's better to have people that come and go than people that come and don't train or don't learn anything and stay right where they're at. Years later, they're still with you. You don't want those people. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So with my company, it's mandatory. I pay for 4 hours per month of we pay for the training, usually Udemy courses or whatever. And every single person on my team, we just fired 3 people for not doing it. Bye.
Yeah.
So I pay for 4 hours of your 160 hours a month. I pay for 4 hours. I even pay for the course. You need to take it. Anybody that wants to go over and above those 4 hours that I pay for, you want to get in my good graces, that's exactly how you do it, is you show me incentive. And I've got some team members that do that, and guess what? They're being promoted because they understand. I keep preaching, do more than you are paid for, and soon you will be paid more for what you do. That is, I think that's Zig Ziglar, but anyway, he was right. So, and all the top CEOs and people that become executive directors like yourself, and congratulations on that. I need to take a minute to congratulate you on it. You've been the executive director of the AMI for how long?
This is my second year. Yes.
Oh, it's your second year already. All right, coming in your second year. And so you were voted in by the board, I assume?
Yes.
Okay, you were voted in by the board. Okay, awesome. Okay.
By both of my peers, yes.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. So
Yeah.
I think we covered some important things though, like training, which is always on a hot topic with all shop owners. Trust. Utilizing the AMI. Not only do you get your by utilizing AMI resources, not only do you get your teams trained, but you can get this trust badge put on your website that is going to give you an edge over the competition. So it's important too. And there is no membership with AMI. Unlike the ASA, you join, you're a member, and you pay an annual dues to become a member, because the Automotive Service Association is the voice on Washington. Am I not correct? I'll put a quick plug in for the ASA.
There you go. That is exactly correct. Yes.
Yeah. So those dollars are being spent wisely because this is the only voice of our automotive repair industry where we've got people into the ears of the politicians, and that's exceedingly important. Then with the AMI, there's no membership fee whatsoever. It's a total resource for training. Correct?
Correct.
Yep. Okay. So we will encourage all of our clients to not only be a member of the ASA, but also start getting their staff or the owners. The owners would want to take that main course, more than anybody, right? The Master General Management,
Yes,
right? That course.
but that could be for your service writer, your managers, your office staff. That's applicable to all of those persons, along with the owner.
Okay.
They're all going to benefit from that.
Now, I noticed one side says collision repair, Master General, AM, and then it says Accredited Master Automotive Manager. So is that the same, are those different courses for collision repair and auto repair? Or is
Correct. Yes, there's a path for collision and there's a path for service as
service?
well. Yeah,
Okay. So specific to each individual industry, right?
correct,
Yeah, okay.
correct.
All right, awesome. All right, so thanks for your valuable insights, Mary. So that'll go ahead and conclude the podcast.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.